Friday night frights. Oh, no makeup I have on today. Allergic reaction I had. Those things happen. My flesh started to itch and crawl and itch. Miserable I was. Took it out on my neighbor, I did. Today we are looking at something different. Some spooky poetry sent to me by my twice as spooky brother. E. George is his name. He thinks he knows how to write. Let's find out. This is titled Seagoing Apprentice. As we bounce and bound across the sea, I'll teach you, boy, something of me. There are many lessons to be learned for thee. Perils I've gathered out there, here at sea. I've crossed the seas from hither to yon. Not that kind of yawn. I've seen wonders of the breaking dawn. I've watched the moon sink till it was gone. I've danced with angels and demon spawn. They said I committed many of crime. Claimed in prison I did do time. But their prisons aren't worth a dime. They couldn't hold me for the required time. It doesn't matter what they act or how big, no one cares for a pirate's rig. But they are willing to lipstick a pig while crimes are done under powdered wig. Murder, pillage, plunder, and rob. Take the widow's money, each bob. Take advantage of the gullible mob as long as they hold the governor's job. Because the law's hypocrite, wealth and power let you violate it. The only difference is the type of wit of whom you hire for the lawyer's bit. The only difference between we and they are the colors we fly as we enter the bay. We pirates are thieves, the governors say, but they rob even more by end of day. Have they conscience? It leaks like a sieve. They all have the power, the means to live. Live I would, they steal and don't give. But the fancy houses with servants to live. We are poor men, see, pirates we all. In our youth we drank bitters and gall. Our feet unshod and backs to the wall. We just want to live and give our all. That be a pirate's life, it does. So it's hey, hi, fiddly dee. It's a pirate's life for me. Live it, I live it every day. I'm here to teach ye the pirate's way. Sounds like he has a bit of experience with pirates. Did a bit of pirating in my life, I have. That poem was written by my brother George. Thank you, George, for your interest in the channel, in your contribution. May your flesh rot for it. Now, time for more stories from the dark and macabre. When I was a little boy, lived in a small village, I did. And as all little boys are, very curious, I like to wander, like to explore. Found a house down a derelict, dusty trail in the woods. The house was old and ramshackle, run down. Everyone was afraid to go into the house, for there was talk of ghosts. I wanted to see the ghosts, I did. As I wandered down the road, long, quiet, dusty road, nigh a bird chirped, very curious for a spring day. I approached the derelict, rundown house. Shutters hung from the windows by rusty hinges. The door hanging off by one hinge and tilted ever slightly. As I approached, a gust of wind came. Bang! The shutter slammed. I ran back to the edge of the driveway, I did, but determined to see the ghost. I ventured forward, mustering all the courage in my 5-year-old body. Stepped upon the front steps, I did. Each board groaned under my weight. Stepping across the wooded porch, each plank shook. Nails squeaked up out of their holes. Slid through the tiny passage that was made by the door hanging off of one hinge. The house was dusty. Old derelict furniture strewn about, turned over, broken glass, broken windows everywhere. Empty beer cans and half-burnt candles littered the floor in a strange pattern. I didn't know much about what that pattern held, what it meant. I do now. Someone was practicing witchcraft. Walked around in the old kitchen. An old refrigerator stood with the door open. And on the table, all derelict and unkept, Vermeer beer cans. Started to fill up my bag, I did, with the beer cans. I collected cans at that age. And there was candles on the table. And from upstairs I heard the sound of a cough. Thought it was just me. I started to go up the stairs. Step, 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 I heard across the ceiling. Closer and closer it drew. I got scared, I ran, dropping my bag of cans. Headed for the front door, I did. The door suddenly shut. How? I don't know. Step, 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 step. Across the ceiling. Thump, thump, thump. Down the stairs. I became so scared. I tried to open the door, but it wouldn't open. Tugging and pulling on the doorknob, it fell off in my hand. I had no idea where to go. Step, step. Down the stairs, I saw an empty window. Afraid of cutting myself on the glass, I broke it. Step, step. I climbed out the window, falling into the tall weeds, running down the dusty driveway. Looking back, the door was open, and there stood a man. Ragged, dirty, with one arm and no face. Neither did I go back to that house ever again. Neither did I tell anyone. My mother asked me why I was dirty and my pants were ripped. I told her I was collecting cans and caught myself on a fence. She said, "Be careful. You could get hurt." Don't I know it? So, this Halloween, if you approach any empty houses, don't go up the driveway. Never, ever go up the driveway. It just may be. One-armed Jack. Or even worse. Join me again tomorrow night for the remainder of the legend of Sleepy Hollow. Until then, good night.